everybody? This is Bo in the lounge. We get a chance to finally catch up with Coach Hood. How you doing, sir? Coach, we look at the record in the first part of the season last year, and you finished off so strong. You probably would have beaten Appalachian State and gone on to win a championship last year if that little team from Richmond didn't spoil it for you.
Well, I don't know about that. Appalachian's a great team, and that's, a place that we'd like to be, is to be a program and not just, win the league once every 5 years or so or get to the playoffs, once every 10 years. We'd like to be like an Appalachian State where, they just kind of pencil you into the playoffs there, and it's just a question whether you're going to go all the way or not. But Richmond was, we caught the hot one. They got hot down the stretch. That playoff system's a little bit like the NCAA tournament. If you can get hot at the right time and gel as a team and all that, you can go a long way. And they put it to us, and it was a little bit of a reminder of hey, we had a good year, but look how much further we've got to go, guys. You get in the first round playoffs and get spanked like we did. So we're working at it and excited to get started and try again.
Well, Coach, you've done an incredible job in that first year with that program. We were talking about some of the seniors off air, that it really came forward with your coaching staff, the old faces and the new faces coming together. Who were those guys initially who are really on board right now to get you guys over the hump for this playoff season?
Yeah, it's a whole lot different, feel to it this year, Bo, because, last year it's the guys kind of looking around saying, hey, what do you mean, do it like this and do it like that, which was really a tough sell because they'd come off a championship the year before. It'd been different if you come in a program that was 0-10 and telling the guys, hey, believe me, this is how we need to do it. Oh, yeah, okay, well, let's try it. We were, did it our way, and we were 0-10 last year. They'd won the conference championships in 07, so in 08, doing things a lot differently. It was a little bit scary, especially with a 1-3 start. But like I said, off air, we had a great bunch of seniors that just kept working hard and a great bunch of coaches that meshed together. So this year's feel is different. We did it that way. We won the league, and so now it's not a thing where the kids have to buy in. They're already believing. So things are moving a lot faster.
Well, Coach, I think right now in the state of Kentucky, football is at an all-time high. Louisville's got some heavy issues going on to make sure they break into it again. Kentucky was doing well for a while there. And then Eastern Kentucky, being that big part of the football story now in the state, has got to be very prideful for you who are from Kentucky.
Coach Kidd got this thing going. His first year coach was 1964. And I think he had a couple losing seasons there to start off. But, Eastern's had 31 straight winning seasons, and it's second only to Florida State. So unbelievable tradition here that Coach Roy Kidd, got started. And we're very, very proud of that. We're very mindful of that. The seniors, this is their watch, so to speak, with that. And we know there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into that, and we want to uphold that. Like you say, Coach Brooks has done an unbelievable job over at Kentucky. I think they've gone to 2 or 3 straight bowls and probably shattering all the records in their program. So, yeah, Kentucky, the whole state of Kentucky, I think, in high school football in Kentucky is getting better. And with spring practice and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's kind of everybody's chipping in sort of a thing to upgrade Kentucky and football in general.
Well, Coach, your reputation and the people who know you, who have worked with you in the past, have just talked about you as a person, and it's a pleasure to get somebody on like that everybody in mixed circles run into each other and they talk to each other. The coaching community is not as large as a lot of people like to think it is. It is a very small knit group, and to have that many people come forward and talk about you as a person is pretty impressive to see, Coach.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's how we try to run the program. Is we look at football as just a piece of the puzzle and just as a tool. Yeah, we want to win a championship. I heard Coach Dungy say one time that our goal is to win a championship, and nobody's going to work harder at it than us, and that's our goal. We're going to be innovative and creative and all that kind of stuff, but that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to use football as a platform to help young people achieve authentic manhood. And that's where I think it's important. And there's some coaches out there that are doing that, and those are the ones that are doing it the right way. That they're not just using football as a means to get rich or a means to, go the highest level they can. They're using football to help young people, and that's what we're trying to do here. And that's, a thing I learned from guys that I had worked for, previously prior to coming here.
Well, Coach, you hit upon something here, and we're going to try to get this coach on from Vanguard. He had last season let go 13 players because they were doing things not exactly the way they should be at a university and college as a leader in that school. And I see a lot of coaches across the country falling into that category where they need to have people with characters. They don't have to babysit. They may be talented all in the world, but they've got to prove it in the classroom, and they've got to prove it on a university level where they're not embarrassments for the school. And I know you're one of those coaches. I know Coach Moore's like that. London's like that. There's many of the best coaches in the country are falling to that category, and you're saying it out loud more and more about how important it is to have character on a football team. You've got 100-some kids on your squad, and to manage every single one is virtually impossible with the schedules that you keep. How do you go through that process to make sure you have a right match? I know you've been there 1 year, but you've been coaching a long time, Coach. What are kind of things you do to make sure that you've got the right individual in the right spot in the program?
Well, I mean, the first thing you got to do is you've got to recruit to it. Do you want fast receivers? Well, what do you got to do? You got to recruit fast receivers. Once you get them here, you're going to develop and do speed improvement as much as you can. But you got to start, with recruiting. So we recruit character. I mean, on top of every one of our recruiting forms is CAF, character, academics, and football. And that's what we do is we ask the high school coaches a list of questions that are to check on a young man's character. And the biggest reason for that, Bo, is not that we don't want to help, other kids or give kids second chances or that kind of stuff. It's a fact that we have got to make a promise to our other players and their parents that, hey, we ain't taking a guy just because he can jump high or run fast. We're taking him because he's a character individual. That's who your son's going to be associating with. That's who he's going to bring home with over Christmas. That's who he's running around with on a day-to-day basis. So we do it, number one, as a protection thing and as a promise to the other parents that we're recruiting kids just like your son. So don't worry. He's not going to come in and be rooming with a guy that's a thief or a guy that's mistreating women. So we start there. Character is number one for us because of that. But then also number two, it's when you have character issues, you have turnover. You have turnover, it's hard to have, have good chemistry on your team. When you have character issues, it's hard to be, unified as a team. So we're doing it selfishly because we know that you have a better chance of having a true team when you recruit character first. So we start there with recruiting it, and then we develop it. We don't give lip service to character development. We actually have a character development program. You have to work on it every day. I tell the guys all the time, hey, we don't just open up the weight room and say, hey, go on in there and get strong. We got a weight program. You do so many sets of cleans and so many sets of this and so many sets of that, and we do the same thing with character development. We don't just talk to them at the end of practice, say, hey, be good. We work on trying to show them this is a right choice, this is a wrong choice. You do this, there's consequences. We have structure and discipline. We've got to give them stories. I mean, there's a lot of things that we do to try to help develop their character once they get here, just like we try to help develop the speed of a fast guy.
Absolutely, Coach. Those are great points across the board. Now, on a lighter side, Coach, you've got kids showing on campus right now. Some teams are already in two-a-days. Is there not a better time of the year than two-a-days to watch the freshmen come on board and really get a taste of what college football is about? To me, there's nothing better than watching those freshmen stumble.
Yeah, they're pretty wide-eyed at this point, and we try to help them out a little bit with that. We actually put our seniors and freshmen are together in the locker room. We have a senior, then a freshman, then a senior, then a freshman. Then we also have those guys paired up together as roommates. A senior is with a freshman because, just like you say, those guys come in and they're like, holy Moses, this ain't nothing like what I thought it was going to be, and get really wide-eyed. And we don't want those kids to turn around and go home because you could make that mistake early and then, regret it for the rest of your life. So we try to do some things, kind of a big brother program, so to speak, to help those guys along and keep them here on campus with us.
Coach, thanks for taking so much time with us. We always appreciate what you do for your program and for what you do in the football community.
Okay, thanks, Bo. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Dean Hood from Eastern Kentucky. He's one of the